episode that we've all waited for. Episode number 4. Western Conference Podcast. Myself, Big Body Cisco, my brother Westafa, and our special guest, the legendary George Fiji VEIKOSO. How you doing, George?
I am good.
See, that's what we're talking about.
You hear the bass in my voice right now?
Because you know he knows how to work that mic. As you guys already know, he's a legend for a reason. But how we doing today, Fiji?
I'm good. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I finally got to do the Western Conference Podcast. So I'm excited to hear all the things we're going to talk about today.
Look, so we have a plethora of questions that we would like to go down. But before we even do that, I think this is more to tell the people that we've been doing, with me and Western Conference, me and West, been waiting for this moment to kind of sit down with not just as our family, but people see you guys as these artists and these legends and these people on stage, but this is actual family that we can sit down and talk with each other. So that's why I wanted to get down. Everyone who knows Jay Boog from everyone said, make sure when you get Fiji in there, we get the Fiji that all of us would like to know and love. Not the stage Fiji. We want the Fiji that they're going to tune into this podcast for.
Well,
so you have to say some things on here, Fiji.
I don't know. I'm going to try my best.
See, you look so shy now. This is so different for me.
Well, this is how it starts out. It's like a date.
It starts out like this.
It's like a date. You know what I'm saying?
You see? So he's so shy right now. Now we got to pull the draws down. So, for those who don't know, who's been under a rock, George Fiji VEIKOSO has been doing this and been in the game for many, many moons. But what I wanted to get down with me and what Gustavo was saying, we got to know about the humble beginnings in Hawaii and how you got started into the music game.
Well, you don't actually know. So let's even go back further before that in Fiji.
In Fiji, yeah.
So like in the hospital room when he came out.
Why you guys? Come on, my mama could be.
Yeah, I was about to say, moms. Let me shout out moms.
Listening to this.
Yeah, take us back to Fiji, George.
All right, so I started as a kid. I always had this passion for singing. I used to sing so much. My family used to be like, "Shut up."
Yeah,
so
you were that kid.
I was that kid.
Yeah,
I just felt like anybody on the radio, I'd be like harmonizing, be like, "Damn." Sometimes I just want to hear the melody.
Yeah. So you knew melodies and harmonies at a young age.
Yeah, I was like, so when my mom and her sisters would do little church rehearsals together to do like a special song over there, I'd be like, you're off. That's when the slap will come.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Oh.
So you had that tone already in you. You already had an ear for music at a young age.
Yeah, I did. But, at the same time, when you start off thinking that you know stuff, then you realize as you get older, like, damn, I really don't know anything, you know? But it started off like that. So I started singing in church, and then there was this little competition. So
like a talent show.
A talent show for the church. It's only church kids.
Yeah.
So
those are the worst ones, the badass church kids.
And all of them can sing. So I just went up there all nervous. And then I went up and I sang, and then I won. So my mama decided back then that I was only going to sing for Jesus.
See, that's how it all starts. Oh, you're going to sing for Jesus, baby.
And so one night, I went out. So I used to always go to a friend's house, the Tamani's house. It was right up the road from my house, and I used to go over there as a kid, spend time with them. They had a family band. Their band used to gig.
Yeah.
So I started going with them. Then they started like, okay, so there was this famous singer named Langani. He was a big singer, like our Michael Jackson at the time.
What was his name again?
Langani. He was like a kid star.
He was like the Fijian Michael Jackson.
Sensation, yeah. So he was just like killing the radio. So I started a lot of singers, they start off by imitating other singers.
Yeah.
So he was the first one I imitated. And I realized I could imitate a lot of
So you had him down to a T.
I was like, I used to come up like, so they used to be like, oh my God, you actually sound just like him. I said, yeah. Why don't you come up and do a couple of that song? So I went up to the barracks, went up there, started singing, and then people start putting $20, $10, $5, $2 in my ear, slapping money on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could do this.
So at that time, you're thinking, okay, I'm getting paid.
I mean, you gotta understand.
I got 20s on my eyeball.
Yeah, like I'm like 6 years old, 7 years old. And finally, during the break, I didn't know my mom was looking for me.
Yeah.
She came all the way up to the The Army barracks where I was singing.
Because you're supposed to be singing for Jesus, first of all.
Exactly. So
you're supposed to be singing for Jesus.
I didn't know what was going on. So next thing you know, the sergeant comes up, excuse me, is your name George VEIKOSO? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, there's a lady here.
There's Mama VEIKOSO over there with a belt.
She's waiting for me with holding my brother, rest in peace, my brother Willie's hand, and just
had that look of death, like you about to get your ass whooped.
I said, I'm going to get it.
See, in a Polynesian household, you know what that look is, right? Where you get that eye and the little twinge of the right cheek is you definitely gonna know your ass is gonna be whooped.
So this is the best part. So I went home. It's like, just wait. So during the time I'm in the car, I'm getting boom, like, oh.
You're getting side shots.
Yeah. So finally, I waited till we got home. We got into the room. My grandfather's room is right here.
Yeah.
And I'm right next door. So there's just one wooden wall between us. So when my mama started hitting me, I'm like, ah!
So grandpa can hear you
loud so that my grandpa can hear me. And then my grandpa says in Fijian, "Vomatea," which means kill him. I don't want any grandkids.
I thought that meant help.
Yeah. He's like, kill him. I don't want any more grandkids. Kill him.
God,
and my mom's like,
see, that's a Polynesian household for you.
man, that was like the most scariest thing for me. So, from that day, they knew that I was just, so he was like, you're only going to sing for Jesus. I gave my life for this, for you to sing for Jesus. I'm like, oh, Mom, please. So finally, as I grew older, she realized that it just kept growing on me. So I left home. I just took off. Went and lived on the side of the freeway. She was getting worried over me, and then they had to send me back to Fiji. This is after I came to LA.
Yeah.
Send me back home. And then after a while, they're like, are you going to behave now?
Did you learn your lesson?
I was like, yeah. So I came back, and that's when I came to Hawaii.
So you went from LA back to Fiji, then to Hawaii.
Then to Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, I went back to singing in church again.
It always goes back to the church at that point, right?
Of course. And then after that, I just started roaming around clubs again.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
And they were like, hey, bro. I was like, oh, I like sing one song. Yeah, come on.
Like open mics.
Open mics.
Yeah.
So when they heard me sing, it was like, wow, bro, this guy got voice. Right?
See, I could just imagine, because at that age and at that time in Hawaii, hearing Fiji's voice was the nicest thing close to getting pussy. You heard that angelic voice. It's the sweetest joy. It's the sweetest joy. So, of course, to hear you at that point in time, you have nothing's recorded at that time. This is all grassroots.
Yeah. So, when before that, during my time in Fiji, I went around, roaming around the town, and like always, just being a vagabond. That's what I still am. I still live kind of like anywhere, So I ended up joining this group called Roots Strata. And then Roots Strata is the group that wrote songs like Warrior of Love and so Rise and Stand. So they were like a reggae group that was about, one love, political, stand up for your right type stuff. So I came from that, and then I came over back to, I left the group right as they released their first single, which I'm singing. Yeah. And I came to Hawaii.
So you were like Teddy Pendergrass and Harold Melvin and Blue Notes. So you sang all the main parts and then left their ass when they wanted to release their album.
Well, there were two of us. There was another brother of mine named Steve McCumber, who was a great singer.
Yeah.
So he took over after me, and then he re-recorded that song since I wasn't part of the group. But that song was #1 for 2 months.
Wait. Let me get this straight. They took your voice off of the track and had somebody re-sing it?
Yeah, because I only was on the single that came out on the radio. That radio station was just beginning. It was FM 96 back home, and it was just beginning. And we were the first local group to be released on that contemporary station. And it was my voice that was the first song that came out of that group. And when they actually released the album, they re-recorded my part because I wasn't part of the group.
So they like took you out of the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
So basically they replaced Michael with Tito. It was like, look, Michael left.
No.
Like what was now that we can look back on it, what was the drop off on vocal talent from when you left and who had ended up taking your place?
The guy was my best friend. So Steve McCumber was my best friend. So I actually took him with me. We both roamed into their practice hall and joined the group together. So it wasn't, what's crazy is between me and him, we could imitate every voice on We Are the World.
Oh, wow. every breakdown.
We sang every part of We Are the World. I wish there was somebody that recorded it.
Yeah.
But I used to do the Bruce Springsteen. And
that was the best part.
Michael Jackson. And then there we go, the Bob Dylan. There's a choice we make. Yeah.
Even to the Cyndi Lauper, you guys were getting everybody. Yeah.
He had the Cyndi Lauper down. Because we were like 13 years old.
Yeah.
Back then.
And that was the era of music you guys grew up into.
Yeah.
The We Are the World days. And,
yeah.
Who were some of the influences back in Fiji up to this point that was influencing to you to come into your own in your voice?
I grew up on gospel music, so Andre Crouch was a huge influence of mine, and on the street was Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And then also Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. So we grew up on all that, and Third World.
Yeah.
Very
Shout out Third World, still relevant to today.
Bunny Ruggs,
they
rest
are
in
my
peace.
Bunny Ruggs. That's my biggest hero, and as far as like that era.
Yeah.
Because I could sound just like him. So that went on, and then I grew up with that, and then and the Winans, and then commissioned, Fred Hammond, Marvin Winans. So from there, of course, you got the great Stevie Wonder, who was my ultimate, that's my ultimate hero back
Absolutely.
then.
Songs in the Key of Life.
Yes. And I had the record.
Yeah.
I used to play it. And then my uncle turned me on to jazz, stuff like Wes Montgomery and, a lot of Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
The old, real old stuff that he used to just play the record. And he's like, do you understand it? Can you hear it?
Because you hear all these pieces of the puzzle.
And I was like, I don't know if I hear it, but I love it.
You don't know if you heard what he was trying to tell you to hear, but you heard something.
I think this shit sound kind of crazy, but it was important, like Thelonious Monk. So that really got me to open my mind to the creativity.
Yeah.
To just hear things that are out of the box instead of always just following the.
So you took a lot of elements from the jazz, from the gospel, from the reggae, and kind of put it into your own elements of your puzzle.
Yeah, so that's part of my influence. And then I grew up on old, what do you say, the real old Fijian music.
Oh, okay, like traditional.
Traditional, super traditional. Any type of traditional music, whether it was Samoan or Tongan or Fijian, that was my thing. Like chants.
Yeah.
And all those came into my head was like Skittles, right? So it was like, whoa, I could put this with this, and and then the
creative juices was flowing at that point.
So I would take like a wannabe Timberland beat and put a chant over it.
Got it.
So that's how we did Gratitude and stuff, and so I just kept doing, and then some I just said I'm gonna go way back and just make this one kind of come in. Like Independence Day, like I would just be talking, and then all of a sudden it would just switch into the voices.
Yeah, it would come in.
Yeah, super traditional, And then there was somewhere I also, when I was in Redlands, I joined this group, this high school group called the Festival Singers. I was a part of a 60-voice choir.
Oh, wow.
That year, 84, they won the national, award.
Yeah.
But, you're one of 60, so nobody gives a shit.
You were just part of that 60.
They're like, I think, there's only a few black people in there.
And you was in the choir.
Yeah, so I was in the choir, so it was funny because my big brother, he was the Etu, he was like the big star.
Yeah.
And he rushed like over 1,000 yards in football, and he would play basketball.
He was the athlete.
He was the athlete of the year. And when he comes out to play, I'm over there. Oh, say can you? So we have a joke going. I used to be like, when we used to drink. And
Get him a beer.
I would sit over there. I'd be like, remember Etu when you was the big star? And, I was like looking like I was just part of the choir.
How the tables have turned. Now Etu got 2 bad knees and you over here doing festivals.
Like,
God damn.
So he used to look at me and say, "You want me to kick your ass now? You want me to kick your ass later?" I was like, "Kick my ass later."
Yeah.
But that was a big thing, you know. So that journey for me was a big establishing of just my ears.
Yeah.
And then it took me a while to really have a sound.
Yeah.
It was not until 97 when I actually...
Oh, that late?
Yeah, so I started back in early 80s singing, and then, you know, from late 70s, early 80s as a kid, coming into 90s, still imitating Luther Vandross.
Looking for your identity
Gerald
at
Levert
that point. Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie Levert, of course, and as we go into, you know, 97 is when I really said, you know what? Because the first album we did, my partner at the time said, like, we lost money.
Yeah.
So the album was called Evolution, 1994.
Classic
and I was
album.
like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, we lost money. So I was like, you know what? I need you to give me control of the album and just tell me how much money we can spend on this album, and I'll make it work.
Yeah.
So he gave me something like 29 or 30,000 as a budget. That's back then. Budgets were huge.
Yeah. That's when you had marketing
So,
budget and all.
I squeezed it all under 23, thanks to my brother Michael Grande, who I owe my all to, and he helped me. And at the time, it was Tim Nelson and Bully Suarez. They were the 2 people that helped me develop that. Let me have the studio, and I literally lived in that studio. No place to go, just slept on that couch until somebody had a session. Then I would go outside and just chill until it was all to myself again.
Until it was your turn.
So that's how it went down, and I was like, damn, you know, when that day comes. But I think the one thing that I can say right now is I never complained.
Yeah.
No matter where I was in my journey. I just felt like that was part of my making.
Well, those are like the early elements of you were talking about 97, and
I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed
stepping stones.
Yeah, you know, be called a joke and all that stuff. Like those are the things that got me to really find who I was and question who I was. And then Born and Raised was born.
Whew.
Man.
Born and Raised.
Yeah.
If you know, you know, because that Born and Raised is a legendary classic Fiji album.
Yeah.
And you know what? There was nothing coming out of Hawaii at that time that was like that.
Well, there was Brother Walter, which is born in the same studio.
Yeah.
Which studio is that?
This is Platinum Pacific. Was off Kelmoko.
Oh, wow.
Not the Hostro.
All I know on that street is some hoes. That's all I know from that
Things
block.
have changed on Kelmoku. Man.
Sugar, if you're watching, I still go around looking for you every now and then. But so there was a studio there apparently.
Yeah, it was like in the
So
back.
where?
It was
Like,
in the cut. It was like all the way in the cut. Like you all you see is a garage until you go all the way to the back and there's one door. And
Got
then
it.
you open there's a studio. And that's when I started. And I was like in there, like I had to go ask my brother if I could take a shower at his house.
It was a struggle of
It
what
was
you
a struggle.
yeah.
It was a struggle, you know, and I'm grateful for all those experiences.
Humble beginnings for sure.
Yeah, you know, I've had humble pie my whole life, so that's why I have a compassion for these youngsters. Like if they ever lived my life, they would have given up many years
Well,
ago.
especially in the social media world that we live in now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this generation, not to be disrespectful, but are lazy. They wouldn't take the route that you've taken because a lot of them probably would have gave up halfway through what you went through.
Yeah, it's rough, but at the same time, I want them to appreciate where they're at.
Yeah.
And all the sacrifices that it took for them to be able to enjoy it now.
It's hard though. For me as a DJ, Wes, as you can say, when they talk about sacrifice now, the younger generation, they're talking about not having a laptop. That's their sacrifice. They're talking about not being able to get student time. We're talking about you was just on a freeway overpass.
I was on a freeway
In LA, a Fijian
Literally.
kid, ain't nobody knowing. There was like, so the struggle then is a lot harder than it was, and people talk about struggle now.
Yeah.
And that's why I say when people hear your story, which I do hope that the kids do watch this and say, you know what Fiji came through to be in the stature that you are at now? Because is that when at the time you knew that you kind of made it when Born and Raised came out?
Born and Raised was like, during the making of it, I was just trying to make sure that I gave my all. And at that time, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And that's all I gave, was everything I knew in one record. Being influenced by my Jamaican family, thanks to Tony Gitz on Naughty Girl. Tony Gitz, forever, that's one of my first Jamaican brothers. And then meeting Bonafide later on.
Yeah, shout out Bonafide.
Yeah, so all the Jamaican people that I met during that time and the reggae artists, they pretty much shaped it. And then, the one person, the Manal Company, they were very instrumental in bringing me up and encouraging me. Is specifically the one guy, Danny Kennedy, my brother Danny Kennedy. He was very instrumental in pushing me to go forward and to be heard by everyone. So he was very instrumental in that, and I'm grateful to him for that.
See, but I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of segued into me and Mustafa was talking about. Like, people look at reggae like, so you're doing this all in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And, you talk about your Jamaican brothers having, the Jamaican influence on it too.
Yeah.
At that point in time, like Wes was saying, there wasn't really an island reggae at that time.
Not really, no. It was just, it was called Jawaiian music.
Absolutely. That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, it was Jawaiian music, and Brother Walter was one of the key foundation. Then Hoikan and Manal Company. There were other groups that were part of that whole thing, but these were the key components. And Kapena, of course.
Yeah, shout out Kapena.
Older brothers, so them having all their different flavors in there really shaped the Jawai movement. So when I came in, I clarified a little bit more of the reggae, the sit down,
Well, take us through that because the transition had to, because like you got that Jawaiian music at the time, was that accepted by the Jamaicans and the reggae scene at that time?
No. It was somewhat accepted, but of course they were like,
had their ways.
What the blood clot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
They didn't understand why we were so joyful in it.
Yeah.
But this is the flip side to this whole thing. They said one love, and we felt one love.
Yeah.
But as soon as we start to progress, it's two love.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many major chords.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, is their love one love, and then I guess our one love is not. You know what I mean? So
that was my understanding of it, because reggae at the time, well, maybe Wes can correct me, but they were more political. Their one love was more political, more of a message, and what island reggae and Jawaiian reggae was more happy.
Yeah, and
so we
added ukulele and stuff, which is, they were like, what is that?
Elements, different elements.
Elements, right? Because we only added elements that we relate to,
familiar with.
Familiar with. So that was our thing, and our thing was like, get the family together, everybody barbecue, and we just bust out the guitar and the ukulele.
Absolutely.
So these songs were made specifically so that in the backyard, when you just chilling, you can just come, never gonna give you up on the ukulele.
Yeah.
No matter what your mama say. And everybody's just like, yeah. And they lost it. You know what I mean? They got into the happy mood and everything. Whereas Jamaica is the foundation of reggae.
Yes.
So we're like the little nephew, like the little brother. So it was like, of course we're never gonna perfect the style. We just had to make it ours. But see, everybody else formed their style afterwards.
Got it.
Like, good example, Reggaeton.
Yes.
Right? We've been around since late 70s, doing the same chalang-a-lang, you know, but we still haven't blossomed.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that's always hard about our culture is we can never come together.
Come on, that's what we got to talk about. Yeah. I'm glad you brought it up, because that's what we have to talk about, because that was next of our questioning, where, we talk about the Polynesian people coming. The hardest part is to come together.
Yeah.
We see reggaeton come together. We see, Jamaicans when they do the reggae. Mm-hmm. Why is it so hard for Polynesians? Is it an ego thing? Is it a pride issue with our demographic and our culture?
Well, we do have one thing in common with Jamaica and everybody: crab in a barrel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
People go push this one down to get up here, and then you go push the other guy down. So it's never. People just feel like there's only room for one or two of us,
and I never.
And
get that.
they could never understand how wide the table is and how large the spectrum is that we can all.
Say it again, Fee. Say it for the people in the back that didn't hear you, because that's huge.
They don't realize. And my understanding of this is because I grew up in Fiji, and there was one radio station. And one radio station, I can listen to Jim Reeves, I can listen to Bob Marley, I can listen to Ray Charles, I can listen to Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, all in one day,
all
in
on the
one
same
station.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I'm like, why can't we all see this?
Yes.
They're all entertaining us in our own different personalities. We're all relating to the music one way or the other.
Yeah.
Some like this one more than this, but we all exist. They all exist, and they're all successful.
Yeah.
So why can't we come with our own style and be accepting of one another and just say, yeah, that's our brother, man.
Yeah.
And just understand that, look.
It's always the total opposite of that.
Yeah, it never is like, oh, bro, you think he's freaking way beyond, like he's way beyond now.
Exactly.
Like,
Thinks he's better than us.
And then the worst part when social media came is the whole concept of we're going to the next level. Like, wait.
Who's doing better?
What level? What level?
Yeah.
You know, like people used to tell me, one day I'm going to be up there with you. I'm like, up where? I'm right here. Come here and hug me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hold me. Like, what the...
Exactly.
What is going on? Like, where am I supposed to be? Where did you put me that I'm not?
But I think that's why your longevity in this game is because you have that mindset.
Yeah.
Like people who don't know, you've helped the J Bugs, the Common Kings, all the people that are up there, that people always try to compare you guys.
Yeah.
And me and West Alpha, we go on tour with a lot of these artists where we're in this thing where there's enough for everybody.
There is.
And what I don't get,
There's
that
way more
you
than
work with
enough.
artists now. Are you trying to get that message to the younger generation that's saying, what do I got to do to get to that next level?
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, look, the next level is your level. Whatever you're trying to do, it's your very best. That's your next level. Mm-hmm. And whatever you learn more from there, that'll be your next level. But it's not against another person. It's you against yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So your level, there's nobody that can do you. Only you. There's only one of you. That's the most beautiful thing about the way God made everyone is He made us exactly one of one.
Yeah.
Not even twins are the same.
Yeah.
They can repeat after one another and say the same words, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
Because the DNA is that specific. So you are that specific.
Wow.
When did you start to see the divide in the music as far as the culture?
The divide is up here
Mental.
in people's minds.
Yeah.
People just create this huge monster that doesn't even tell the truth. And people start believing that lie, and they start thinking like, oh, he trying to be all up in my, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, even the thing like, oh, make his name big and then his small. I'm like, make my name small. I don't give a shit. You can make my name small.
It's all an imaging thing.
Exactly.
It's a popularity concept.
Instead of just saying, look, here they are.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Because you're going to love all of them.
Yeah.
But no, there's this big name, and then there's small name, and then there's these like small little captions. Oh my God, I don't even know what the hell to think. Like, you can't even read it.
Yeah.
I was like, can I have a tissue or something?
Yeah, we got tissue right here.
I don't know if it's the AC in here, but I'm starting to thaw out. Thank you, sorry. But yeah.
So like you were saying, me and Wes see it all the time. And I said it was good that you came in because a lot of this generation, like you see through social media where they do have these competitions where it's like this artist better than that artist, or what can I do to top that artist? When in reality, it's like it's all music at the end of the day, and it's all your creative expression.
And you can enjoy. You can enjoy all of it.
Yeah.
You can enjoy all of it, and there's no need for, I like this. I bang this nigga more. Like,
Yeah.
No, sir. That's fine. That's okay. Well, not everybody likes that person. Somebody like the other dude.
Yeah.
Somebody like the other girl. And it's okay.
It's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, we can all coexist.
Yeah.
And everybody can be successful. There's no need for, well, I don't like him. No, for me, the only thing that I don't want our artists to ever forget is we are a small group of people.
Man.
And that
Say
type
that.
of mentality only makes us even smaller.
Say that.
And we don't need to be out here dividing us already this small. And now all of a sudden we're like minute.
Yeah.
Like, what'd you do? It was your way of thinking. And that's what created
It's definitely the
that division.
mindset. It's definitely the mindset
Yeah.
because we also was talking, me and Wes were talking about the Grammy issue.
Yeah.
The Grammy issue with Soulja winning the best reggae album this year. And I said, you know what, maybe one want to ask your take on it because people are starting to have a problem with American reggae. So like we were deciphering between American reggae, island reggae, and reggae. Now you have one category that's kind of splitting everybody together, right, Russ?
Yeah, and and actually the Kings, as you know, we all know,
Common
were
Kings,
nominated.
yeah.
Boog was nominated twice, so we're in the realm
Yeah.
of recognition.
So like we're in the vicinity of
Yeah, well,
being recognized.
I would say this year was probably the first year that it wasn't an artist from Jamaica that won it.
Yeah, yeah, and that should not even be like a thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It should be just grateful that a reggae group won. Like they're perpetuating something that started all the way back before even these artists
Yeah.
that come out. They were perpetuating what they learned from listening to Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and Buñuela, and that's all they're just perpetuating that. So if you're gonna be mad at them for that, that's
Petty.
on you.
Yeah.
But being mad at them for being white, that's a little too petty for me.
Well, and we were talking about just the recognition of the Grammy alone, that they're kind of putting that as they're being solidified as an artist if they're nominated or if, like, you've been in the game how long, Fiji? And
30
to see that,
plus years.
you wouldn't need a Grammy nomination to kind of like
I
dictate
really
your
don't
career.
care about
Absolutely.
it.
Right.
I don't. I don't. It's a horrible thing for artists
Yeah.
to be one. It's the same thing. We're going right back to that thing.
Yeah.
Only one of us can win.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, are we playing bingo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not bingo. You're playing with people's lives and people's livelihood. So be generous to spread it out and make it wider so that other people can be recognized for their efforts in the same genre.
It's so crazy.
Now, just because the Grammys recognize one group instead of a Jamaican group, that's on the Grammys.
Yeah.
But do you know how you win in the Grammys?
No.
The committee, right?
It's your
committee.
peers.
yeah.
So these are people
It's not
voting.
the
Yeah.
people voting. It's your peers. That's how they won. They won because other artists and musicians voted them in.
Yeah. The Grammy committee.
No, so
Artists.
all the Grammy Awards consists of its members, and
Yeah.
its members are all artists.
Members.
Yeah, that's
is
right.
what it-
Nothing
Remember,
to
that's
do
what
with
it
the
was.
public.
Not committee members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other groups said Soulja X amount of times more than they said,
Gramps or Sean Paul
yeah.
or somebody. Yeah.
They said Soulja more.
Yeah.
So that ballot came out, and that was the result. It wasn't voted by the people.
Right.
It was voted by its members.
And there's so many different elements on top of what you
Right.
just said, where they have to be released at a certain time.
Right.
They have to have so many percentage of
Yeah.
reggae songs on
Right.
their album to be sold.
You think artists have time for that?
Yeah.
Not too many artists have time for that.
No.
You need organization. You need to have.
if that's their end goal,
Right.
Like if their end goal is to win a Grammy, then okay,
Yeah.
go through all the steps that you got to take.
If
to get a Grammy.
everybody took that step and went and tried to influence
Yeah.
all the other, like, be the number one Jamaican reggae artist
Yeah.
to all the rest of the artists, they would be winning every year.
And it's so crazy because me and Wes were saying that they don't even broadcast the best reggae album. Like they had that before where they didn't even do the best hip hop album.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to say, okay, well, there's a little popularity to it where it's crazy because the only thing that I feel that artists get from winning a Grammy is better billing and better pay
That's
on
it.
their next thing. Because they can
That's
say
it.
Grammy Award winner,
That's
Grammy
it.
nominated
Yeah.
going forward.
That's
so
it.
So like I said, what were you talking about, Wes? What the Grammys were? They shouldn't hold, their whole career hinging over a Grammy nomination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. Like, did you really work this hard just so you can win a
Yeah.
Grammy? Then your job is done. Just
Yeah.
retire. You know what I mean? You're here for a lifetime. This is a lifetime achievement.
Well, I think it was Drake. He pulled his album from the Grammy nomination.
Oh, Drake did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, like we talk about, when you play sports, there's a participation award.
Right.
And now that we have like the Oscars, the Grammys, everyone's kind of holding a candle to it. We're like, oh man, I have to win. That's like the pinnacle of their career.
Yeah.
We're talking to you that's been in the game over 50 years and have. Well,
Come on, damn,
he was born. He was born.
Go,
But I'm saying you got an artist that's legendary as far as you, where you could give a shit if you win a Grammy or not. And you'll still get the same billing as somebody that won 2 or 3 Grammys.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's like, it shouldn't be important.
Yeah.
The important thing is the impact that you have as an artist to your audience. That's the real accomplishment. How many lives did you touch?
Yeah.
How many lives did you help change in the course of your musical life? I don't even want to say career, because career is something that ends. Your musical life, your musical journey.
Oh, I like that. Say that. So not a career, your musical life.
No, your musical life, your musical journey, because you have made this your mission for the rest of your life. So that's, until we can't breathe no more, this is our way of giving back to our public, back to our audience, to the people that gave us that time of day to download, to put our music in their ears and their hearts, and believe what we believe for that moment, for that 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They took that time to say, I love it.
Exactly.
I feel this way. And sometimes, depending on the power in your music, sometimes you're helping people not commit suicide, or some people be like understanding that, you know what, there's a better tomorrow. You're giving them hope. So what is your purpose? If it's just booty, then go ahead and sing that booty thing, get all the booty you want. But if you really understand the broad spectrum of musical reach that you can have, then be about it and stop thinking about that one accomplishment. You know how many times people have recognized and try to stick me on, I don't believe all that stuff. People say legendary. That's great. That's cool. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. You know what I mean? There's nothing legendary about me.
Yeah.
After I'm gone, if that's what you want to call me, that's fine. But I don't feel that way. I feel like.
But I think that goes back to like what we talk about when we do shows, and when I say, I put a lot to call somebody a legend.
Yeah.
And I think, you being the artist that is being called a legend, of course you wouldn't want to be, oh, don't do that. But as someone, as a fan,
humble guy, that's the humble.
Malo humble Fiji. We want the beer Fiji.
But this is the thing though. My mentor, Dr. Adrian Ewan, said it best to me. He said, I'm just a beggar telling other beggars where the bread is. That's exactly it. I don't want to, if I found a piece of bread here, I'm going to let you know. This is where it is.
See, but in this game, everyone has that mentality.
Well, hopefully it can grow. Hopefully we can change that, I mean, it's just one person, but the more people that do it, like right now with all these youngsters that's coming up, like Maoli, who's powerful, coming up.
Shout out Maoli.
Josh Tatofi coming up, powerful. Jay Boog, like they're coming into this beautiful experience on their own, and they're growing, and I can't even tell you, the Green and all these great, everybody's coming up, doing their thing, and it's beautiful. And if we just allow everybody to just do what they do and be themselves, everybody gonna buy it, because you know what? It's a lifestyle, and a lifestyle is not singular.
Yeah.
A lifestyle is go to the beach or go to work.
Yeah.
That's our mentality. We're multidimensional, we're multitask people. A lot of us come from single family homes, and our mother did everything for us, or our dad did everything for us.
Yeah.
And that music is what keeps us together and makes us feel that it's okay that that person's not there.
The expression.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If your dad's not there, it's okay, because the music made me feel whole, because that's when we got together and we felt like a family.
But with that said, where do you see the state of island reggae right now?
I think it's coming out beautiful,
because you're a pioneer of this. Like we talk about all the artists that you just mentioned right there too. My personal opinion upon top of that is all these artists are right there. Yeah. They have the same appeal that these mainstream artists have. And, I know we hate talking about it, but I think mainstream and being a good act in Hawaii is a definitely different thing because I think they want to have that mainstream appeal. How do they get across that line to say, okay, now I have the Palangas, I have the whites, the blacks, the Mexicans, and Filipinos buying the music and not just our Polynesian people?
Well, the one thing that we need to understand is this. Mainstream is still an opinion.
Tell them.
It's still an opinion. We're mainstream.
Yeah.
We can be real mainstream if we get larger.
I wanted you to say that.
Population.
That's why I said it.
You know, the new ones coming up right now, the Johnny Sweets, the Fias.
Yeah.
More. Look at Spawn. You know, he's smashing. He's back in the album mode. That's what I'm talking about. Like, more of us, like, people don't even know Boog's been, like, camping, writing stuff. Like,
shout out my brother J Boog, man.
You already know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an evolving thing. And until we start to let each other just be themselves and grow into the monster that I know they are, then we're going to have a community. And once we have a community, that becomes this genre, that becomes a style. Right now, there's not enough of us because we're not even allowing others to grow.
Yeah.
We're not giving the time.
And that's why I was like, when you say evolving artists, you see the growth in these artists from the early J Boogs to where J Boog's at now, from the early Common Kings to the artists that you work with. That's why I wanted to see, when you work with the early J Boog, did you see what was going to transpire into what Boog is now, into one of the other artists that you work with?
No, of course we didn't know. I didn't know, you know, like, I just know that the intention is there.
Got it.
And my intention is to take them to their fullest
capability.
Potential.
That's like you just give the guidance and then
like I'm giving them what I learned in the 30 years of my life, and I condense it as much as I can to try and give it to them in the short amount of time that they're with me.
Because like they said, that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. Shout out all my Tongans out there.
You are killing me right now with that cliche. I'm Tongan, boy.
I know, that's why I said
What's wrong with you?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
As far as like we're talking about reggae music and island reggae and stuff like that, do you consider our music to be an island reggae category, or would you just put it as reggae?
I feel we're island reggae, we're island rock. I think we're island everything.
Island hip hop.
We're island hip hop. We're island. The thing about it is the location of that DNA.
But putting that island in front of it, does that hold us back? That's the question.
No, because the whole world is an island, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole world is an island. You just call it a country.
Yeah.
There's water. That's an island.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get out of their mentality because they keep condensing us to, like, as if the islands are only in the Pacific and the Caribbean. Like, get out of here. We're all island. From time to time, we all love the summer. We all love and the only difference is we get to celebrate that summer with that sun all year round. Yeah. That's the only difference. We don't get snow, but there are places that are part of us, like Aotearoa, that celebrate the winter and the snow, and there are places like up in Australia where our indigenous brothers over there.
See, but I'm glad you brought that up with New Zealand and Australia, because not just the islands of Fiji, Tonga. You go to New Zealand and do a show. You go to Australia and do a show. We've been out there to do shows. It just shows the wide spectrum that we were talking about.
Our Aboriginal brothers there, and then all our One Talk people out there in New Guinea, you know, and Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. Like, these are all, and then you go all the way to the Marianas, to our Guamanian family. Like, so it's a huge, like, spectrum. Of not just artists, but people.
But you're out there doing, like, music with, like, they just recently singled 3 Houses Down. Yeah. Like, they had a brand new single, and saying, working with those artists in New Zealand, in Australia, do you take what you've learned and kind of instill in it? Because I know going out there, I was like, man, there's a lot of talent out here that's untapped.
So I take what I learned, and I learn from them too.
Absolutely.
They're badass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, their mind and the way they think is something for me to learn from. You know what I mean? So New Zealand is the largest culmination of island people in the world. Polynesian, Micronesian, Melanesian.
Shout out New Zealand, man.
You know what I mean? And Australia is right there, the migration. So that's like our little version of America, right? Like
their mainland.
So that's like, that's the motherland, you know what I mean? It's the largest continent. you know, in the world, in Australia. You know, it's crazy. Like the largest island continent. You know what I mean?
It's a
like,
beautiful thing.
man.
It's definitely because they have a lot of talent out there. But when you are working with artists, what are you looking for in an artist to say, okay, I'll give them a little bit of the Fiji on it. You know, you sprinkle some Fiji on it because you work with a lot of artists from Nancy Fafita, from all these artists you work with. Like, how do you say, okay, I'll work with you? And how do you say, no, I won't work with that?
Well, one of the things that I try to relate to with artists, and it could be also my downfall, is how are you like representing yourself as, you know, I believe in culture. Yeah. At the end of the day, I have to answer as a Fijian for being Fijian, for even having the audacity to carry the name Fiji.
Yeah.
I gave that name, I took that name on because it was just to give credit to where my birthplace. That's
where
my
you came
birthright.
from. Yeah.
And that's what I did. I didn't do it so that I can be like, I'm Superman. No, it was to say, you know what?
And that's an element that you look for in an artist.
So my name is important, but my birthright is more important because at the end of the day, this place gave me life and it also gave me love. So this is my way of saying thank you.
Yeah.
Through my musical accomplishment, all credit goes
It's like
to
your
Fiji.
give back. You're paying it forward.
All credit goes to Fiji. So it's not really coming to me, it's going back to my birthplace. So what I try to find in artists is how connected are you to that?
To your background.
To that root of yours.
And when they are not, is that when you don't work with them?
Yeah, kind of. It's like, okay, so you're trying to do...
Because they could be like, nah, I'm
we can all get up and do booty music and I love you and you love me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what is your end result as an artist to perpetuate? Like, you have to be, the one thing that I try to push is language, which I speak fluently in my language in Fijian. And the other thing that's important is your culture, how we care for each other, which is why we've survived for thousands and thousands of years. Is, I mean, call it what you want, Falavelave or whatever. Hey,
so see, but were you saying that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists that were raised in the States that don't speak fluent Fijian, Samoan, Tongan, and whatever the thing. So, like, you know, not that it's like a bad thing for them, but there's a lot of kids watching now that probably can't speak Samoan or can't speak fluently.
And that's
in their
okay.
language. Yeah,
that's okay. But you have to have some type of element that links you back to your DNA,
your culture,
to who you are. And
that makes sense.
And that's when I really want to mess with you, like, because you are going to be a great pillar for that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it can be a downfall. Yeah. Especially, like, if you talking about shooting another person, like, nigga, I'm about to go, you know, ride on these. Look, you can ride on them niggas, just not with me.
Yeah, and that's what I tell these artists, like, especially me in West Africa, we get music sent to us all the time, and I'm sure you do as well, to say, hey, how come you don't play our music? And me and you go through it every day. If you're not talking about the certain things that, you know, I'm all about, you know, family, party, and having a good time, living life to the fullest. Yeah. Me and West, as Western Conference, we get songs that are talking about other hoods, representing Bloods, representing Crips, representing this. I just personally, and I'm sure I can speak for West, I can't play something like that.
The same thing with me is like, my whole purpose is to perpetuate us and to raise us up and to raise us. You can do all the music you want, just be proud of who you are and understand that you come from some parents, you come from somebody. You know, the fact that somebody worked hard to get you to be even born in America, that person made a sacrifice. Just show me you appreciate that, and I'm cool with you.
See, but I'm glad you said that. So what do you say to somebody that says, that's watching them, I mean, fuck these old dudes. I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah. Tell me how I can get, you know, the likes and stuff like that. Like, that's what we go through as being in the game for so long. We have to also consider, look, somebody's watching, it's like, look at these three old dudes talking about shit that they're talking about back in the day. Yeah. The younger generation want to know, okay, fuck all that. What can I do now? What little gems can I get from Fiji, who's been doing this for many moons, to say, okay, look, I might not have the culture part, I might not have to, but I still want to do what I do. What can they take away from you saying, okay, this is how you further your way in that realm?
What I could share with them is just understand that you don't have to work with somebody like me, but in order for you to make it, it takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice on your part to be able to accomplish And understand that even when you accomplish that, if you ever look up, there's a long stair.
Yeah.
And that stair goes all the way up. Them stairs keep going up as long as, and you can keep accomplishing everything. But at the end of everything, you're going to realize that it was just your will that created that. Them stairs that you looked up, that's really your intention.
A lot of kids are taking the
those
elevator.
Are your dreams.
A lot of kids are taking the elevator and taking the escalator right now, and trying to take the easy route.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's no shortcuts.
But I think social media is the shortcut, in my opinion.
One sense,
my opinion.
But in one sense, it is. But at the end of the day, there's no shortcuts. You have to go through each step. As you progress as an artist, as you record the record, there has to be a certain amount of quality that will give you that appeal. If you want to be mainstream, well, here's the mainstream frequency and mix and master.
Yeah.
That's what you have to get to. And when you actually accomplish that, then you have to pretty much have a following, right? So all these, there are no shortcuts.
And
no matter how much.
When you say following, I always say artists, they're as good as their buzz. So if they have a nice social media presence, it's crazy how not everybody, where there's a talent that's not as talented as somebody that doesn't have a social media following, and is so much more talented than the person who does have that buzz. That makes sense to you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, talent is always gonna come shine through.
Yeah,
you know? I mean,
especially through the shortcut.
Talent will always show, but longevity is where the shortcut will kick in. Whatever you took a shortcut on, you're going to have to make it.
It'll come. You got to make up for it somewhere. Yeah.
It's going to show up one way or another.
That road will not end, and if you keep wanting it more, that road will say, "Okay, by the way, you took a shortcut here. Here's the actual path."
Yeah,
and then that's when you have to say, "Okay, I have to do it."
Yeah,
and in order for me to cross that. You know what I mean?
For time's sake, we don't got a lot more time. But what I wanted to know is that you saying longevity, you saying on this, the top 3 artists of all time, and you personally, this is just going to come out of left field with it. Who are top 3 artists, dead or alive, that you would either wanted to work with or worked with on the top of your list? You said Stevie Wonder was one.
Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and Bob Marley.
See, but Bob's always on. Well,
yeah, that answered one of my questions because we be mixing and stuff. A lot of the conversations that we be having is, Lucky or Bob, and I'm like, no disrespect to Lucky, but for me,
Lucky's great. I love Lucky. I met Lucky. I had hung out with him. He's a great person, but Bob is the actual originator of the style of reggae.
And I'm glad you said that you hung out with Lucky. So out of all the artists that you hung out with,
and I love him.
Yeah,
I love him to death. Like, for instance,
rest in peace, Lucky.
Rest in peace,
Lucky Dubé. Yeah.
He's the Pacific's Bob Marley.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because he related to us in a way where we just lost our mind for a minute. We just, especially with freedom fighters standing on their mountain, like you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was about the people, and I will always love him for it. But that is all stemming from what Bob started.
Yeah.
Stand up, rise up, stand up. Get up, stand up for the right. All those songs. We refuse to be what you wanted us to be.
We're talking about history, like Bob Marley, Lucky Dubé. Like you're still in studios, still doing work, still putting out songs. Like,
and I still got a long way.
I was about to say, what keeps you motivated to keep staying in the studios and making sure the younger artists get the sound that you want?
Well, I always look to what more can I do, not only as an artist, but as a person that will be able to give back to my community. I always think about how we can make this beautiful thing bigger. Mm-hmm. It's growing and it's beautiful, but the more we collab, the more we get together, the more we love one another.
Support one another.
Unequivocally.
Yeah. With no hidden agendas.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to do it, because, we're going to get them girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Get
I wanted to bring up one thing. It's kind of like this thing that's been going around, and it's, a lot of homies always want to have the unreleased.
Yeah.
And so how do you feel about that, like, as far as, music getting leaked and stuff like that? Because I know it's happening to everybody.
I learned that lesson during Born and Raised. the reason why Born and Raised became, so in 1 year we sold over 100,000 CDs back then.
For Born and Raised.
For Born and Raised.
Yeah.
And I was making $8.50
from each
per CD.
Wow.
And
I got mine off Napster, but that's
all of that came because my community, leaked it, the 3-4 songs. So by the time that record came out,
they already knew it already.
they was waiting.
Yeah.
They
Where's the
wanted to
rest
hear
of
the
them?
finished product.
Yeah.
And their whole pride was, bruh, I got the
Yeah.
original untouched.
But do you feel like the leaks are almost uncharted promotion for the album?
I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
The one thing that we forget is you always got to go back to your beginning, right? I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And the fact that my neighborhood is like smashing my record in the
That's
whole
not even
neighborhood.
released yet. Yeah.
It's not even released, but they're pumping it in the community dance and our our little get-togethers and stuff. Even the church dance. At the Mormon church over there, it's like everybody's like, yeah, boy. I'm like, they just loving it, and you know what? Who am I? That music is for us.
But you the artist, damn it.
No, but
You're like, who got like, yeah, boy, before?
why am I gonna hold on to something?
Yeah.
And then be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Look, we're island people. If you walk by my house and I didn't ask you to come eat when we're eating, I'm selfish.
Yeah. Got it. And that's the mentality.
And that's the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you don't gotta give the whole record out. Just
give them a slice.
give them a slice.
Give them a slice.
Hey, it's a little something I'm working on.
Out of Born and Raised, what's your favorite track you ever wrote and sung yourself? Your favorite track, because there's so many of them.
I don't know, because they're all in different parts
of your life.
Time,
Yeah.
And what I was going through.
Okay, I'll give you a better question. What song have you written for someone else that you wish you kept?
I think I know the answer.
I know, me too. I was about to say the same. We have an over-under on this one, so we'll see what he says.
I don't know.
What did you think, Wes?
I don't.
You know what? Fiji is such a humble guy, and
It's a little too humble for me.
I know he doesn't really put it out there. Boog's biggest song is this guy on the hook.
Tell him what it is.
Let's do it again.
Tell him what it
Boog
is.
was in the studio. I know,
but look,
he was stuck.
Here's the part. Here's the part that I need to explain about.
But he was stuck.
I couldn't have sung it better than Boog. I couldn't.
But you was on the BVs though.
But look, he went and re-sang that stuff when he went to Jamaica with Don Corleone, and they went and did it. And let me tell you, that was a beautiful, beautiful gift.
Man.
Back to a writer, when you can take something like that and then put your sound on it, and then it became the monster that became. I know for a fact that I couldn't have done that. So I'm cool. Just like, for instance, this is the untalked about stuff. I wrote a hook for Tyrese called "How You Gonna Act and Leave Me Now."
See, that's what I was gonna ask you next.
Right?
Okay.
Like
for Tyrese Gibson.
For Tyrese Gibson.
AKA Cry Reese.
It sold more than any other single he put out. But at the same time, I couldn't have sang it better than him. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You
That's up for debate.
That's very debatable for sure.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think
Humble
that
guy.
everything.
Exactly.
No, but
Follow Humble Pie.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Everything, to me, has its moments, and things had to take those turns for it to become what it was, and what it is right now. You know what I mean? So I can't complain because I know that I did something that turned out to be great.
Okay, Humble Wumble. Let me ask you this one.
No, this is the truth. It's the truth. Look at what Chris Brown and Tyga and Pia Mia did. That's a thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have thought about that. You know what I mean?
Out of your catalog, what's a song that said, I probably could have did without? Do you have a lot of those?
There's a lot. There's a lot that I listen to now, especially like on things that I could have added more to make it sound better. Like, I'm always critiquing. Oh my God, I can't believe that I released that. That was horrible. You know what I mean? I go through that all the time.
Before we get up out of here, and I thank you for your time as well, because we're going to definitely go kick it off after this. Do you still get goosebumps and chicken skin when you perform? And where was the most best place you've ever performed? Because I've seen videos at One Love in New Zealand, but where has been the pinnacle moment for you to say, okay, I made it?
I don't know.
Humble.
This is a good one. This is a good one because I need to answer this correctly. I made it when I was 13 years old and decided that I wanted to sing for the rest of my life.
That's when you knew.
I made it.
Yeah.
That's the decision that I made.
Yeah.
And I made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's as far as made it means. But as far as like audience, Hawaii will always be my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forever and ever. They were the first ones to give me the love that I have today. So the love, they started from there. So me being a loyal person, I'll never, ever forget it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the islands and the country started to catch on. But the biggest will always be One Love, New Zealand.
Ooh. If you guys haven't seen that, go to YouTube and watch Chant of the Islands.
Viral.
The virality.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a word, but
It's 25,000 of my people.
you didn't even have to say a word.
All people.
Yeah.
White, black, Chinese, all mixed in with our blood.
Chicken
And, like,
skin for
it's
sure.
just beautiful. It's like, damn, it's the most islanders I've ever seen in one place. And yes, I do get goosebumps every time. I got goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
Because I get goosebumps every time because this is what I was called to do.
Yeah, this was definitely your calling. It being your calling, last words for the public watching you right now.
Gratitude.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Shout out to my brother Fiji.
Big up Fiji, man. The one and only.
The one and only George Fiji VEIKOSO. We thank you, my brother. Because I'm telling y'all, man, we love y'all. We'll see you guys on the next one. Western Conference, we out. Peace.
Boom, boom.